Yes, people, good morning. Welcome back to United View. Welcome back to another morning view. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Let us know how you're feeling, how you're doing, where you're watching from, what you got up to today, man. It's a big day again in the day of football because it's another day closer to match day. We're all dying for match day on Sunday, Ipswich Town at Portman Road. Man United taking a trip down there. And we just want to see it now. We just want to see it now. And you know what? We want to see it so much that the training video came out yesterday of Ruben on the grass with the players. Yeah. And I tell you what, depending on how invested you want to be with this thing, you could either take it all the way to the top, or you can detach and say, only like the 12, 13 players there, mate, don't care. But we're somewhere in the middle. We're somewhere in the middle. And there are things we actually can definitely take from it versus some things you definitely can't. And that's what we're going to go through this morning. We're going to go through that training video. It looks like his formation's been revealed. Is it Rashford up front? Or is that just because there was a lack of strikers available? There was no Hoyland, there was no Xerxes. Or is it like, no, I was right and you all laughed at me? Is it that? We'll see. We shall see. So there's a lot going on. We've already got over 500 people watching. We've already got over 120 likes straight away. So
big show it's going to be. Well, it's the big show. Yeah, that's what it's going to be. Oh, this is where I wish I could play music on the soundboard. Oh,
I know. Can't you get the demonetized version, like the remix versions that don't hit the same?
No, it's not the same, is it? It's not the same.
YouTube needs to sort that out, man.
You know, like when you walk through like Pound Stretcher and they're playing like weird like Christmas music and go, I don't recognize this.
It's not the one.
Yeah. You know what I mean? They've got some cover version of All I Want for Christmas. You're like, what's that?
No. Yeah, where's Mariah? What is this?
Yeah, exactly. It's like that. Same thing. One hit.
100%. I hear you. But we got the reference. It is the big show. And actually, also another thing people got really excited about, which again, you could either take to the very top or detach yourself or be somewhere in the middle, is the training pictures. You know what I mean? The little clips plus the training pictures. Some of the pics go cold. You know what I mean? They hit, but they also be used against us as evidence when we go through this trial that is Ruben Amorim. So let's get straight into it, because the training video was released. Shout out Charlie as well, good friend of the channel, always onto his tactics. I mean, Charlie, talk about take it to the top. Charlie was dissecting everything. He was in his coaching bag, frame by frame. It was brilliant.
That football-esque, you know.
It was brilliant. And you know what, though? A lot of the things, well, not a lot, all of what he was saying was what we were seeing. You know, Charlie's got a very good breakdown of these situations. But again, I know a lot of other people would have watched it in jest and thought, oh, interesting. Look, there's Mason Mount. Oh, he's running forward. Oh, wicked. Like, oh, wow. Like, but Charlie took it to the next level. So if you haven't seen his thread, go and check it out because it was absolutely brilliant. But yes, Owen, the training video was out yesterday. We saw players in various positions. You know, we saw some injured players back.
Yes.
You know, we saw the Luke Shaw, left centre back experiment begin.
Yeah.
We saw Malacia bombing up and down the left hand side. We saw Mason Mount as an inside left 10. We saw Ahmad as an inside right 10. I saw a pivot of Kobe Mainoo and Casemiro. You know, who was right back? Anthony was right wing back. You know, back three. Yoro was right centre back. Johnny Evans in the middle. You know, so what do we take from this, Owen? What does this mean?
Well, we can take from it what Manchester United tell us to take from it, which is Ruben Amorim has overseen his first training session as Manchester United head coach. His first game is rapidly approaching as we face Ipswich, as Flex mentioned, at Portman Road on Sunday. Never been so excited to play Ipswich, by the way. Now, United did say, as Flex mentioned, about some of these players returning. Kobe Mainoo continued to build back to fitness with the group following his injury against Aston Villa in October. Ahmad also took part after missing international duty with Ivory Coast, picked up a knock against Leicester City. Defenders Luke Shaw, Terrell Malacia and Lenny Yoro also part of the session as they continue to work back towards match fitness. Alessandro Martinez and Victor Lindelof are both back at Carrington this week for assessment and treatment after dropping out of the Argentina and Sweden squad respectively. They didn't participate yesterday. But as the sort of the key bit that Flex was mentioning then, what lots of people will say, with only 10, yes, you can count on two hands, 10 senior first squad members available for training yesterday. Numbers were supplemented by several academy players. Amorim will get his first opportunity to work with a full squad after the international players return later this week, most likely sort of Wednesday, Thursday, around that period of time. But as we continue talking, you can see some of the pictures going on the screen right there. As Flex mentions, there was also a video clip that went around and lots of people were dissecting it, looking at it. From watching the 7-minute training clip, as Flex mentioned, it looks like there was a lot of shape training in there with Lenny Yoro being the right centre-back, Johnny Evans in the middle, Luke Shaw being the left centre-back. You then had wing-backs of Malacia on the left and Anthony on the right. You had Casemiro and Kobbie Mainoo in the middle. You had Ahmad and Mason Mount in these inside 10s. And you had Marcus Rashford up front. Now, there's lots of different things you can take from that, I suppose. You can take from it that you can take from it not that much. You can just say, look, it's only literally 10 senior players, as I mentioned. So we literally just put them into the positions that we could, basically. Some of them, maybe like Anthony as a right wing back, go square peg, round hole. Maybe, I don't know about that, maybe. Other things you can take from it, you can look at it and go, well, wouldn't have to play Marcus Rashford as a striker, but he did in that situation. People were saying, well, Kobbie Mainoo is going to be played as a 10. Well, in yesterday's trading, he wasn't. He was an 8 alongside Casemiro. What does that say? And like many people expected, Luke Shaw was a left centre-back. Lenny Yoro was a right centre-back. So are they things...
Techers on the manager. Look at the Techers. Left foot
Are they things you can take from it there, Flex, by saying, there's obviously, when everyone's back, you can go, okay, we will know exactly a bit more. And we might not even see the videos when everyone's back, by the way.
Yeah, no, you definitely won't see it then.
Certain players, I suppose, in those certain positions are quite interesting, are they not? Like a Rashford, like a Kobbie, like a Yoro and Shaw. That's quite curious.
Yeah, when I was saying the Rashford striker thing, it caused a lot of stir. Don't blah 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 blah, and I had to make it very, very clear. I just think that's the best place he could probably get in this system, and also I think again Ruben Amorim will be trying to get the best out of Marcus Rashford, whether we like it or not. So don't get angry about it. It's not worth it. It's his job to come in and try and get the best out of the top players. Yeah, that's what he's going to do. Any manager would, any head coach would. So let's not keep getting angry about, but why do you keep trying? This is the problem with this. Just let it go. He's going to get games under Ruben Amorim. Get over it. That's what I would say. With this, like I said, that was literally the 10. The 10 seniors were in one team, which you'd expect. And if let's be honest, let's actually be honest with ourselves. Even if we picked that
team
that training session
Sunday.
Oh no. That team's definitely not starting Sunday. But also, if we were in control of that first session, only had them 10 senior players to put into a 3-4-3, we all would have done it that way. Yeah. There's no other way around. You could have done it. I mean, you could have put Kobbie in a 10 and Mason Mount next to Casemiro if you wanted to try and be a bit pedantic. You're not going to put Malacia right wing back when he's back. You're not going to put Luke Shaw left wing back and Malacia left centre back. You just wouldn't do that. Yoro would play right centre back. Johnny Evans in the middle makes sense.
You're not going to Johnny Evans Johnny Evans, you're playing left centre back.
You know what I mean? Or left wing back. Like
exactly.
It went with those available 10 players. That was pretty much the only setup he could do with that. The only thing I think we can take as a guarantee, which we almost knew before, is the 3-4-3. I don't think we need any more concrete evidence of it, but literally, we just saw it. That, for me, was the most exciting takeaway from that. Saying, look at us building up from the back with no opposition players in front for the first drill. Then, obviously, the youngsters were in for the second drill. We'll talk about that in a second. But for that first drill, or the one where Mason Mount's on the left crossing it and then he scores and, Ahmad gets the ball and he's saying, keep the ball in the middle, Kobbie, keep the ball in the middle. That's against nobody. That's just shape. That is just purely shape, repetition, identity, idea. That's what it is. And really, it showed me that he's following through on his guarantee from day one. Here's our shape. Here's how we're going to play. Here's how I want us to move the ball. That was it. You can't take anything else from that section.
From a 7-minute clip that has been combed through by the Manchester United media team to not give stuff away. And, it's one of those ones, where you want to try and be balanced here because you don't want to curtail people's excitement, do you? You don't want to be like, it's only 7 minutes. Don't be excited about it. But at the same time, you do have to go, it is only 7 minutes. It is a video on social media. If you're going to pick, out of those people that are in that clip, how many are actually going to play on Sunday, realistically, not because they're backup players, but also because of injuries, coming back from injuries, you go, right, Rashford will probably play Sunday. Casemiro probably play Sunday. Ahmad will probably play Sunday starting, I mean.
Yeah.
And then the rest you sort of go, don't know, actually. Because
It is interesting because of injuries.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
So
if you
really,
think about it,
only
Luke Shaw
maybe
left centre
3.
back with Martinez if his back's hurting or his hip or whatever it is.
Maybe.
He might not make it, and then they might have to make a decision and go, well, I'll tell you what, Luke, how long can you do? Because then we'll start you, and then someone else. Because also, if Martinez is out and is Luke Shaw because he can't start yet, who's going to play left centre back? Johnny Evans, De Ligt, Yoro. Probably have to go.
And then even again, we're putting a lot of stock in Lenny Yoro being ready after he's
there you go, exactly. So all of a sudden, then you start having a little bit of a problem if people are injured. You know what I mean? So you're right, Owen. It doesn't mean, first of all, that doesn't mean that's going to be the team, but also it makes it harder to predict the team because Lindelof's back late injured, Martinez being assessed injured, knock, whatever you want to call it. Yoro hasn't played for us yet. Luke Shaw hasn't played in ages. So really, it's only, providing De Ligt gets back in one piece, it's only De Ligt and Evans who are like legitimately, you go 100, they're good.
They're ready to go.
They're so it's very interesting, actually.
Yeah, it is very interesting with that. And then, like I said, when the players then return, you look at Dallo, you look at Mazraoui, you go, well, maybe the wing backs then actually flip, they change. Ugarte comes back in, you go, depends how ready Cobby is. You might go with Casemiro Ugarte just for the sense of it is away from home and first game.
I think he will do that. I think that's the safest thing to do as well. Cobby hasn't played in a while. It's going to be, he's going to demand that intensity, from the off. Ipswich will probably demand that intensity from you as well. To be fair, they put it about. I keep going back to that 2-2 game they had against Villa. They were really good in that game.
So you look at Ugarte probably coming in. Then you look at those 10s. You go, well, maybe Ahmad does play, but Mount's coming out. Bruno's going to come in, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
And then the striker one's probably one of the most interesting ones because we're going to find out really what Ruben Amorim wants to do for that whole striking thing when it pertains to Rashford, Højlund, Xerxes.
I think he goes Rashford no matter what.
Because he's got the full week of training.
Not just that. Yeah, I think do you know why? And I know everyone will disagree. But I'm looking at it from, again, I'm just putting it through the spectacles of Ruben Amorim, right? For him, it's an easy win. It's an easy win because think about what starts to manifest between Rashford and Højlund. And it is a sort of victim of the more senior player just by name. It is. But I just think he will see it like this. Rashford's had a full week. And if you start him from the start, like the very first game, that gives you a better chance of trying to get something out of him, trying to build that. Højlund is the one who would always accept to a certain extent, I'm on the bench this time, or, I've got to be a bit more. Rashford is the one that, then he's not on the bench. Sorry, he's on the bench, then the media start talking and this. It just gives Ruben Amorim an easy way of going, he's had a full week of training. I want to try him up front. I think he'll do all right. And then you give him, give him the rope because that's assuming he's going to fail. But you see what he can do. With Højlund waiting there, I think it's almost nailed on. He starts up front. I really do.
If I had to, as KG was saying last night, I've had to have my coins.
Honestly,
I would put my coins.
Yeah. How much out of 100? How many coins you putting on Rashford starting? 70.
These bizarre. They might as well have been magic beans.
Yeah.
I would put my coins on Rashford probably starting, I think. Not so much from what you were sort of saying, as sort of like it's an easy win, the media point of view, or almost like a political kind of, within the dressing room kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think he'll just do it because, you can just say, well, Højlund's just come back with international duty. He might be a bit tired. Rashford, you've got a full week. Go with him, and maybe he might just a bit of pace, run in behind. And then if it doesn't work with Rashford in the game, what we have seen in fairness is that, Højlund's very good at coming on. Højlund's come on and score goals. And maybe that's what it'll be too. So
yeah.
That was probably one of the biggest things I did take away. I didn't take away, honestly, like you said, didn't take away much from that clip yesterday because it's silly to do so. Those things get released, having worked in social media. Those things are released for a reason, to build up anticipation, to build up hype, to get people excited, to get people optimistic. So it's done its job when it comes to that. In terms of, a lot of the sort of intricacies of football and tactics for Ruben Amorim, we're only going to see that on Sunday and moving forward in the match days. We're not going to see that through 7 minutes on social media. But the couple of things, like you said, you can take away as you go, well, looks like it's 3-4-3. Even that still ain't guaranteed, until the team sheet comes out, until the game kicks off. It's not guaranteed, but it's very, very likely. As soon as
you see 3 centre-backs, you will know.
Exactly.
Like not on the team sheet, you will know.
Exactly. Yeah. And honestly, the other part I did sort of take away from it, I went, wow, actually, Rashford, he's up front there. That's quite significant, actually. A lot of people were saying that. And maybe, like you said, does mean that Rashford will start up front on Sunday.
I really do think it will. Let's take a break for 2 seconds because we're nearly at 2,000 people watching live after 15 minutes, which is really good. So if we're going to start setting those type of numbers, guys, let's back it up with the likes. So get sharing and get liking the video. We're on 421 likes at the moment. No reason. Just straight up 1K. There's no point dilly-dallying saying 750 and 500. 1K likes. Can we do it? The training pictures are out. The manager, the head coach is head coaching. You know what I mean? We're getting closer to match day. The pictures go cold. Cobby in the beanie. Looks like he's ready to cause some serious havoc. Do you know what I mean? Just for that. Like Tabrez says here, first chat of the day. Oh, sorry, I'll get to that in a sec, but it just caught my eye with what I'm saying. Tabrez says, good morning, UV. Amorim training pics got me all up in my feels. Big up Owen, a.k.a. Hornswoggle. What, from the rest?
How about Hornswoggle?
Hornswoggle, the smaller. That's
one of the
rude.
taller
Why
guys.
is he calling you that?
Yeah.
Why is he calling you that? Nah, you need to, Tabrez, you need to explain that. Hornswoggle was the little shit who used to flipping come in and pass he used to give him the weapon, innit?
The shillelagh. And for a while, he wasn't even called Hornswoggle. He was called Lil Bastard. And then they come out from the bottom of the way. They go, "That's a little bastard."
Oh, JR's so he's brilliant. What a guy. What a legend. But anyway, you need to explain that because Hornswoggle was the little shit who no one really liked. That's a bit rude. Yeah. Flex, welcome to Reckless United. KG is doomed. Glory, glory, UV. Yeah, I keep seeing a lot of people are trying to recruit me for this EAFC thing.
Make you feel good about yourself?
It does make me feel good. It makes me feel wanted. It makes me feel wanted. I'm back up and running on EAFC. You know what I mean? Flecknology will be, at the top tier it can be very, very soon. So I had a lot of people have been saying on the channel, Flex, when you're going to do career mode on United View or the pro clubs or whatever it is. So maybe we could do it. Well, maybe we could make it interesting then. Maybe we could have a United View at UVFC and we could go against all of them. Maybe we could do that. Oh, you're on Joe's team, Flex. Oh, has Joe Blackman already just picked me? I've already been.
Oh, you didn't know about it.
I didn't know.
You didn't know.
Joe Blackman, no, you are part of Reckless United, Flex. Oh, okay. Is that what's happening? I'm already in. So because I don't have a man. I haven't made a man yet.
I don't think that's fair. I think that should be your decision, Flex. You should decide where you want to go. You can't.
How about I want to? Yeah.
This isn't the MLS. The MLS, and they're like, oh, we've got the rights, Messi, and then when he goes into Miami, they have to pay, Nashville or whatever money. That's not right. They don't have.
What's going on here?
Rights.
Tabra says, yeah, you got picked. Yeah, you got picked yesterday. Court Star says, yeah, you got drafted last night. Against my will. What's going on here?
Outrageous. This is outrageous. This is not fair.
I got drafted without even knowing I was in the draft.
Yeah.
On that alone, UVFC might have to be born. I'm like the NWO. I'm coming to shake this thing up.
Yeah.
/ D Generation X.
Yeah.
Flex will be on head loss tonight. I can guarantee you that for free. Blame KG in it. What's going on here? I might have to do a UVFC.
Is KG participated in this? Is this KG
Yeah, KG said I wanted to play, which I did, but I didn't know how. It wasn't explained what's going on. But now I feel like being the villain. Now I feel like coming in, kicking the door down, starting UVFC, and start recruiting from here. We can go against them all. We can win everything.
We're not going to win everything, but
why not? Why not? Why not? Why not?
The problem is, actually, to all the people in the chat that are saying, "Oh yeah, get Flex on your team." Have you seen him as a teammate? Have you seen some? Go back and watch the old FIFA streams. Yeah, some of his behavior is outrageous. I mean, outrageous.
That's because I was playing with KG.
Well, That is
Exactly.
true. Well, that's why I had to come and start moderating. I was like being in like couples counselling or something. It was ridiculous at points.
Yeah, and also these shouts that are crazy. D Luffy says Flex is garbage with that. Like, I'm not. I'm actually not. I'm really, really not garbage.
Well,
I'm not. I'm not
you're
garbage.
not.
I'm
No,
actually
you're
quite
not
good.
garbage.
On this new one though, I will say this. I can't. It's very difficult.
But you suffer quite badly from head loss.
I do, 100%.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing some hashtag UVFC. I'm gonna have to think about this. I'm gonna have to ring KG later on and decipher what's going on.
What's going on?
Yeah, because I honestly feel like being the villain here and just kicking down the door and saying new era, attitude era is here, UVFC is here. Who want tests? Who want smoke? What's going on? Red Baron says, I remember being excited when Eric Ten Hag was showing showing the players to pass in the first season. I'm not getting tricked into these players showing 7 minutes. You're right, Red Baron. You're right. Red Baron also says, didn't Eric Ten Hag say we trained really well? Correct. And Ken Audi says, Rashford is the most overrated player I have ever seen. So Ryan says, Rashi is third for goals and assists under Jose, is first for Ollie and Eric. Why wouldn't he be used? Yous lot are running propaganda at the moment. Who's outperformed him?
I mean, it's propaganda. No, this is when it gets back into the whole if you criticize someone, you hate them, isn't it? Why is this, calculated propaganda attack on these certain players? It's like, well, you can just say you don't think they're good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true. But I'm not trying to rile.
But you are doing propaganda. You're doing the propaganda, Flex. You're bought and paid for is what you are. You've got secret contracts with Rashford.
With the Rashford.
Is what's going on.
But G-Man says it here. Rashford said Rashford hate is out of control. Tabra says, okay, not Hornswoggle. Owen is Mr. Kennedy.
Mr. Kennedy, and then you do Kennedy.
I remember him. Kennedy. All these old school people.
With the echo. Kennedy.
That is perfect as well. I also saw, when you start looking at a few nostalgic things, your phone picks up on the algorithm. So it shows me loads of like 2000s wrestling. I watched some wicked matches. There was a post someone done about Tajiri and Rey Mysterio. And I was like, oh yeah, I remember little Tajiri. Their matches were
the green mist.
He says the spur up. Wasn't it red?
Different colors.
Yeah, the red one would finish off, innit?
The different colors. There'll be the red mist, there'll be green mist, there'll be blue.
Yeah, they were just so athletic though. All the Hurricane Ranas, all the the DDT reversals into something like they were entertaining them too.
Yeah,
big up, shout out to Jury. But anyway, back to
you were saying your
right.
propaganda. We needed to set the propaganda.
I am going to say this, Owen. I'm going to say this.
Yeah,
it is. I will say, take this as you will from what I'm about to say, you and the community. I do think it's interesting that our community are all sort of Rashford out, like heavily.
I don't know if it's that.
They are, Owen. They are.
I don't know if it's everyone.
It's 90% of our community.
My thing with it is
no faith.
Even recently, it's been like like yesterday. I think someone was bringing up the Rashford thing. Oh no, it was Monday with Marcel, or Sunday, whenever it was with Marcel, when he was saying about he's got his best season with 17 goals. He's only got 16 more to go.
Yeah,
and it's kind of like it's just. I think it goes back to the hypothetical stuff again. I think people are just tired. I think they're just tired of. It was like it with Pogba. That's why the Pogba stuff got a reaction recently. I think people are just tired of having that same conversation time after time after time after time. Of is this going to be the time? Is this going to be the person to unlock? Is this going to be the person that they perform for? And eventually, you have to stop. Got to sort of stop saying what if, don't you? Because you know the answer. What's the point? What's the point in asking questions you know the answer to, and then sort of setting yourself up to be disappointed when you know what the outcome is going to be? I don't disagree that on his day Marcus Rashford can be really good. We've seen him be very good on his day. It's not a problem. I don't disagree that Marcus Rashford can score goals. Over his time at Manchester United, he has scored a bunch of goals, some really good goals. But what we know with Marcus Rashford is he is not consistent. And on top of that is, even when he does have patches of consistency, it's not a long-term thing. It will be for 6 months, 3 months. It's not, I always, maybe it's not the best comparison, but I look at people like, Mo Salah's, where it's just all the time. It's just, it's that level. He is not that level. And I think sometimes maybe because of just the Rashford brand kind of tries to push him up to that level, but he's not. And it's almost like if there was an acknowledgement that he's not at that level, he's at this level, then maybe the scrutiny wouldn't be as much.
Isn't that what's happened? Because everyone's saying he's not good. That's what's actually happened, though. Everyone's gassed him up. He ain't that good. He's had 2 good seasons in his whole life, 3 maybe, in like how many years? Was it 8 years? When did he come through? 15, 16.
Yeah, 15, 16 under Van Gaal, second half of the season.
Just about 8, 9 years, let's say, yeah. And he's had like 2 or 3 good seasons. Isn't that just it? Everyone has realised, this brand you pushed to us, he ain't that guy.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the problem. There's a disconnect, isn't there? There's a disconnect with that. Now, this goes back to like and the problem is as well, he doesn't help himself. He does not help himself, because it was like last year with the Players Tribune thing. That was such a misstep at the time. And I remember saying that time, people were like, no, you're just being hypercritical. No, it wasn't. You can't, when you're having a really shit season and then you basically come out and say, if you back me, great, or if you doubt me, even better. And then people are like, well, we are doubting you, and you seem quite annoyed that we're doubting you. But it's so mixed messages. And I think that has hurt him as well. Like some of the people that have advised him over the course of maybe the last couple of years, I don't know if he's got new people or if he should find new people. Like there have been a lot of missteps when it comes to that. Obviously last year with like the Belfast stuff as well, did not help the situation at all. Now, some stuff with him gets so overblown and it's so ridiculous. Like, last week he was in America watching the NBA game. Who gives a shit? Like, who cares? 100%. Guy on his own time can do what he wants. Not a problem. The problem, when it becomes a problem, is like the Belfast incident where he should be at training and he's not. Because, that.
Yeah, and he tried to cover it up.
That's when that gets a problem. But the other stuff, who cares? I don't really care about his image or anything like that. It's about what he does on the pitch, and what he does on the pitch is very inconsistent. Now, I agree with you. Like, I don't really get the anger of Ruben Amorim's coming in. What's he going to do? Not play him for 6 months? But
everyone's saying he shouldn't, because that's what I mean. He shouldn't he shouldn't play under this guy. He should be frozen out, and till the end of the season, don't even bother. And that's where I just think that's going too far. I know the pushback instantly from the community is, but what's the point? You know what's going to happen. You just that and the other. But it's a new manager. Like, you can't, like, it's just what happens. It's just what happens. Like, and he is somebody who will be appealing to new head coaches, new managers coming in. It's just how it is. And it's going to be their remit. It's going to be their endeavor to get him firing. Because guess what? We want to see Rashford firing too. If Rashford's confident and he's firing, he's better than Garnacho. Like, but then
again, I think this is when people do get that, rubs people up the wrong way with stuff like that. It's because it's the if, and we have the if conversation with him again. Of like,
as long as he's here, you have to keep trying. Because guess what? Because then Garnacho starts flipping.
Trying.
I know.
I'm saying stop
but
trying.
then Garnacho starts messing up for a bit, and half the fan base turns on him. So what do you want?
Yeah.
And then someone puts out the stats there and says, I'll tell you what, even in this whole shit period that we have been shit, Rashford's been even though the bar is low. I'm not saying it hasn't, but him and Bruno have been the one who've actually got us out. When they didn't do it, who stepped up? Nobody.
Well, there's a difference there, isn't there? There's a difference with that, because like with the Rashford ones, again, it's a great example of like Erik ten Hag's tenure, because he was obviously not right at the start. Actually, I remember his first preseason, Erik ten Hag, and obviously you were there. And he was still shaky because he had a really bad season the season before. And at one point, he was playing in almost like the second team in that preseason. It was like, oh, actually, this is, I don't know about this. It was early around the World Cup time. He started to really click in, score all those goals. And one of the things that really hurt Erik ten Hag, was his insistence or failed attempts to try and get him back to being that, because like last season in particular, persist. And it was like, it's not working. Take him out the side. Now with Ruben Amorim, of course, when he comes in, he's going to give him a go. If it's not working, this is what I hope from him. And to be fair with any of the players, if it's not working, take him out because
that I 100% agree with.
Because
100%
they'll
agree
let
with
you
that.
down. They like you
Yeah.
can't rely on them like that. You know, it's not to say that they won't deliver for you, all that kind of stuff. They might.
That's
But
across the board. Who can we rely on?
that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So,
Ain't
but
just
anyone,
Rashford.
same with Bruno. And to be fair, your point going, well, you know, Rashford and Bruno have done it. They didn't do it for that long under Eric Ten
Oh,
Hag,
but
really, did they?
nobody has.
Exactly.
Nobody has. But all
You
of
know,
these
that's
saviors
what
that
goes
we're
back to
saying
recruitment, doesn't it?
will or have, exactly. With what we've got now, you have to look at it. What is it best to just keep it? Just keep playing Xerxes then because he's new and this, that, and the other. When it looks like he might not be, he's not probably going to be able to play at that level and show us that he could do that. Rasmus Højlund, like I said, we had to wait 16 games for him to get a goal last year. Then he had a purple patch. Then he couldn't score again. Then he was on the bench and then he scored a bit. Like you have to weigh these things up of like, well, we don't really have anyone in the squad who's guaranteed of doing anything.
That's the problem with those guys. Is like I said, they should be doing it, but they don't. Like we remember, was it last week? Whenever it was, we were going. You know, when you go through all of these Premier League teams and you go like, all right, who's the marquee players in those teams? For us, in fact, I would assume to outside fans, you go, who's the marquee players for Manchester United? They'll probably go like, well, Bruno, Marcus Rashford, and then you go. Then when you take a step back from that, you go, well, that's a massive problem because they don't deliver. I mean, fairness to Bruno, for how long's he been in now? 5 years. For the first, 3, you would go absolutely delivered in terms of numbers. Can't lie with that. But the last sort of couple of years, been a bit inconsistent. Start to this season for him was horrid, absolutely horrid. Same as it was for a lot of people. Fair. Rashford over the last 5 seasons, we're waxing lyrical about a 6-month period in that time, you know. And we're going, I'll get back to that. And that's when you go, well, actually, why are we focusing on the shortest period as opposed to the longest period of going during that longer period? It's Marcus Rashford's inconsistent. And he's been for some reason, and again, maybe this is out off the field stuff. He's been elevated to a marquee position, but his ability doesn't actually reflect that. And then he gets into this weird position then where he's judged as a marquee player, but he's actually not. He's not
a maverick.
He's not a marquee player.
Exactly. I said when I done a Flex's View one time on, I think it was after the Dublin thing, or was it after the Players Tribune thing? After one of them, and that was one of the biggest points I've said because that's my like final conclusion, Rashi, is that what he's been blown up to be, the brand, doesn't suit Marcus Rashford, the man. I see quite a reserved character, someone who's quite an introvert, someone who's quite quiet, but the brand and the image doesn't reflect that. And I don't mean by like buying clothes and cars and stuff. Like, listen, you've worked hard to get where you've got to. Put your whole family on and buy anything you want in the world. The world is I have no problem with any stuff like that. What I'm talking about is, like you say, what you've been built up to be. And it doesn't correlate. And when there's a disconnect between what you're built up to be versus what you are, that's going to make people confused because you either go, well, that's not Mbappe level. So you're awful, mate. That's not that, or that's not the levels of Ballon d'Or level, or this PSG want this spell. Barca, you could go anywhere. World's his oyster. You can't even get into Man United. You can't even perform against James Justin. Like you can't. Do you know what I mean? So I do get that. I'm not saying that that's not true, but my thing is,
I'm not saying he's terrible either. This other part of it. I'm not saying terrible. Like, I see people in the comments going, he's
loads of people say that he is. Yeah,
I see people in the comments saying that he's one of the all-time, scorers, or he's the highest scorer in this Man United team all time. Well, frankly, he's been in the first team for close to a decade. He should be as an attacker.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? As an attacker, that's not like this big revelation of like, oh yeah, he scored loads of goals. Well, playing the first team for nearly 10 years. I would hope so. Yeah. I would hope so that he scored a lot of goals. That's not totally reflective of how super consistent he is or anything like that. And even that period of time under Eric Ten Hag, I don't think like people necessarily expecting that all the time. That was like some of the highest numbers in Europe at the time.
Yeah, just the base level.
But it's just this like, it's either that or it's off the edge of a cliff. And unfortunately, also when it comes to a system, he's one of those players that if he's not like participating or feeling the game, then you are playing with 10 men because it doesn't feel like you go. I would want to see my let's say he's playing left wing. I want to see my winger really pressing or really getting back. Or when you do see those clips of like the sort of jogging, and you go, bloody hell, you got to put a bit more in like that. And sometimes you just want to see more.
Yeah, it's true. Hang on a sec. all of a sudden. Remember, the new machine's not here yet. I was scrolling on the super chats, and now it's just frozen. So, oh, there you go. I'm back. No, I'm not back. It was scrolling a minute. Oh, we need this 24. We need this 16 gig, man. We need. Oh, look at this. This is terrible. I think it's going to do that crash thing soon because it's.
That's what I have the YouTube backend on a separate machine now because it's that bad.
A separate machine.
Yeah.
Did you say a separate machine?
Separate machine, yeah. The YouTube backend's got crazy recently. It's moved.
Yeah, no, it has because it does that crash thing. But wait, how do you have a separate machine just for that?
I'm
just on your laptop to the side.
I'm looking at this. I got 2 screens.
Hold on, let me go back.
Two screens, 2 separate machines.
But so 2 screens ain't running off one thing where you just it's actually a whole separate
2 separate machines, mate.
So you turn on 2 computers to do everything.
Yeah.
What's one like Mac Mini? What's one a separate iMac and then 2?
They're the same.
The same.
Yeah. Well,
the older one you had before.
It was an older build. Yeah.
Oh, but it's enough to just do the whole. I could just throw some comments up for that.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Well, I thought I was going to be the most powerful, so I might need to.
Nah, double. I'm the engine room of UV, mate. That's what we do.
2 machines.
2 machines, yeah.
Because this one's not even good enough to use the second machine for comments, as we can see. Actually, no, because I wouldn't be on the live here. So if I could just do the comments, maybe I might have 2 machines as well, mate. Might have 3.
Well, you could use this as your separate. You could use this as your separate machine once you get your.
That's what I'm saying. So I could just put the comments up on this.
Yeah, you could have the back end on that, and then
with a screen.
Yeah,
but then I need another screen as well to get.
Why would you need another screen?
How many screens do you have? 2.
2.
The main.
I've
one
got this that I'm talking to you on with the stuff, and then I've got this, which has got. I've got my social media feed here. I've got the YouTube backend. I've got my comments.
Yeah, because see, that's where mine's been. Because when I've tried to put it all on one,
it's
big trouble. Yeah, I could do that. So when it gets to live, I'll have what you have then, basically.
Yeah, sort of.
And when you don't overload this machine, this is quite a good machine, mate. To be honest.
Yeah.
It's just only because I've overloaded it.
Yeah, exactly. I can see the steam coming out of it at the moment.
It's Intel, mate. It's Intel i9 or some shit like that. It's not even M chip, whatever. So anyway, help me because I can't. I need to.
All right, let's go to Akil. Says some players are happy. To be honest, just don't trust them. So Ryan says we've brought plenty of forwards for 3 managers. He's done better than almost all of them. He's the best. He's the best in the team as a fact. Who is better? Who is better than Marcus? But even that, I would push back. So Ryan, that's not necessarily an indictment on Rashford, isn't it? An indictment on recruitment. Our recruitment, Man United's recruitment of strikers. Are you kidding me? Over the last decade? Oh my God. Our recruitment of strikers has been horrific, isn't it? If they've not been past the age of 30, they've been awful, basically. And we did the stopgap strikers for years, didn't we? With Ibra, Cavani, Ronaldo, whoever, Igalo. So I don't know if that's necessarily like, well, they were all rubbish. So Rashford's good. I don't know if it necessarily works like that.
Then Rashford's not a 9 though, is he?
No,
he hasn't been. When all them guys were there,
also, our recruitment of wingers has been rubbish as well. Our recruitment has been general has been rubbish. Again, that's not the best way to judge Marcus Rashford, is it? Our recruitment.
Well, who's even come in on the left hand side and given Rashford like competition? Memphis Depay.
And again, it's not necessary, and it's not like, Rashford won that because he was so great. It's like, again, look at the signings; they're horrible.
Yeah, they were horrible signings, but also they don't really sign a lot of people to actually go at him and displace him. Really,
well, Memphis was technically kind of before Rashford actually as well. That was
it actually broke in that same season. Yeah,
Jadon Sancho was for the right, and he ended up on the left a bit. But
Garnacho's been brought through, and
he's played a bit of both.
Ahmad was brought for the right. Pellistri, right winger.
To be fair, when Green was here, he more played on the right-hand side, didn't he, than the left.
Green was on the right. Yeah. Like, Rashford's been untouchable because it's not like there's been loads of left wingers we've bought and he's dislodged all of them. They've just always seen him as the main guy. There's no other way to break it up. Like, sometimes early on in his career, he did play up front where we're trying to go. But when Martial came, it was like, no, that's the 9.
Like you said, they're not outwardly recruiting for a left winger.
That's what I'm saying. So we can't even blame Rashford to say, like, well, the club have always had him.
And again, our recruitment's been shit.
Yeah,
it's exactly. Rubbish. Joe Fleming says, Flex Rashford was absolutely shocking last season. So why are you surprised most of the UV fan want him out? It's totally logical. Space says, every top team needs a star player. The problem is Rashi has been portrayed as our star player for far too long, where in fact he's just, I think, is that just good enough or just not good enough? Maybe,
or maybe he's just about good enough. Maybe, or I don't
know. Ken says Flex always has an excuse for Rashford. It's that PR, mate. You're bought and paid for. Yeah, the agenda.
Check my Flex's views, mate. Check my Flex's views. I'm one of the only ones who was saying, how is he still playing against Wolves? How is he only missing one game against?
It was saying he should come back.
Exactly. He was arguing all the time. So don't, the fake narrative. Listen, this is what happens as soon as you just bring an alternative view. Excuse the pun. To like why player X could get some games under this manager, head coach. Like, it's just, you're just not allowed to do it. He's called excuses. I'm just saying the new guy is going to like Rashford and want to get the best out of him. So get over it. He's going to play. And then in the summer, I agree, he needs a new role. But I'm not this negative to like a new setup and a new manager, head coach, to see what happens. Like, I'm over that. In the summer, he should go. But guess what? You're saying who's going to take him as well?
Yeah,
we falling. Like, we need to live in the real world.
PSG thing that we just go PSG.
Yeah, they don't even want him no more.
Red Barrett says, does the 2-year Barada deadline apply to Rashford? So Ryan says, Owen, Ric Flair, spelled incorrectly, by the way, with a K, says, go to therapy, bro. The issue is our team. Would Haaland scored 35 goals in any of our teams?
Exactly. And you expect Rashford to score 35 goals, Owen. You're the problem.
I don't know if because we have different football opinions, it means I have to go to therapy, by the way. That's a bit deep, isn't it?
Does. Yes, it does.
Get medicated, you shit. Like, oh, all right. Fine. Akil says, our players, Honda Pilot with Ferrari tail lamp.
That's funny.
And yes, and we're all caught up. And also, Flex, we have
nearly there.
2,200 people watching. We're nearly at 1K likes. If you haven't already, click the like button. Let's get to 1K. If we get to 1K, I'll go to therapy.
I just think again, you remember as well, guys, and I'm just reminding myself of how quickly things change, right? After Liverpool, right, everybody said, or most people said, Casemiro should never play for us ever again. That's what everyone said. And don't get me wrong, a lot of other people did also say, listen, he's not going to play. Because I remember saying at the time, he has had a stinker against Liverpool. He had to come off at halftime. Absolute head loss. It was a mixture between getting left on an island and individually, your head is gone. We need to help you. Get off. But we also said about the system, didn't we? But, because Casemiro, what are we doing with Casemiro now? Because now, is it turned into actually new manager, new setup, new system? He's going to be really handy so we can trust him. Or is it, no, he's still old. He's still on all this big money. We still need to sell him. But he's one of the first names on the team sheet, depending on who you ask now. So there's been a turnaround, has there not?
You try to suggest the football fans are fickle, Flex.
Whoa. That's what I mean.
Is that the revelation that we've come to?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if he starts against Ipswich, which I think he will, and he scores, because we know he's rubbish and because, no, I'm not falling for it. Starting.
No, it won't change the narrative. If he scores against Ipswich, it doesn't mean he's back. Should
he should be on the bench next game because I'm not falling for it? Should we just not use him? No, he knows rubbish.
No, but I don't. Again, I don't think. I think that might be something that's kind of made up in your head. I don't think there is
what's made up.
That people are like, don't play Rashford.
I think. What do you mean?
No, I think
they are.
No, but I think the general sentiment is I don't. What? So
that's what they're saying.
So are people in the chat right now?
Let's know in the chat. Ask them.
People in the chat now. Are you saying that whilst Marcus Rashford's under contract and we've got a player, the Ruben Amorim should just not play him?
Should he bother trying to get a tune out?
Just don't bother.
Ask them that.
Freeze him out. Don't try.
Owen, I'm saying.
I don't know. Bro, I think people are saying more long term. I think it's like the Casemiro. I think it's like the Casemiro thing where it's like in the summer he needs to go. In the summer we need to move him on. We need to go in a different direction. As of right now, you're going to use him. Aren't you going to use him?
We need to do a poll.
I'll do the poll.
Yeah, let's do a poll. But the question needs to be: should Amorim try?
Because that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that I think United need to move on and find someone different, find someone that's a more regular starter than Marcus Rashford. But once you've got him, of course you're going to play him.
What I'm seeing people saying is they've saying, well, in them 2-10s he can't get in. No chance. Like Bruno,
apparently he's not playing as a 10.
Yeah, exactly. Up front, I've seen people say, but he's shit up front. There's no point even doing it. Don't play him. Start phasing him out. Sell
So
him.
what's the question here? Should Amorim play Rashford?
Yes. Yeah. Because we all know about what positions it should or should not be. Should Amorim play Rashford?
Okay, well, that
Yes
will
or no?
do its thing. That'll do its thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flex, are you comparing Casemiro to Rashford, says Ken? What I'm comparing is the narrative around them. Yes. I'm comparing going from he should never play for us again. His legs are gone. He's rubbish. He had one good season in the first season, and now look at him. And we actually agreed with Jamie Carragher to new managers come in. I'll tell you what. New managers come in. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't even play Kobe. I'd play him. It's changed. It's changed from hound him out. He's shit. He's dead. Then it went from the first season, he's the best defensive midfielder in the league. We were all saying it. Then the second season, we went, he's the worst defensive midfielder in the league. And now we're back to, he should play instead of Kobe Mainoo. I've just given you 3 different narratives within 18 months. So what my point is that it can easily change.
That was an evolution under Ten Hag, though, wasn't it? Because it was like, oh, this midfielder shouldn't play this one. And then it was like, no, this midfielder should play this one. And then we realized, actually, everyone's fucked in that midfield. No one can do it. No one can do it. No one can do it. Like, you know, even Rude was in there for like 4 games, went, let's not do that. you know, and there's suddenly everyone looked a bit better. I would say that's easier to fix than like the striking and like Rashford issues. You know what I mean? Casemiro was just exposed. Every midfielder was exposed in that system, wasn't it? Because the gaps are too big. So what do you do?
In the same game against Liverpool, Kobe made the same mistake.
Make him a bit smaller. Suddenly everyone looks a bit better. Striking issues or attacking issues, consistency issues. That's more difficult to fix, I think.
Red Baron says, if you play well, get fan support, obviously. And Tavra says, Flex may have to join Owen in therapy at this rate.
There's always room for more. There's always room for more, Flex.
I might have to. Well, so far, it's a resounding yes, he should play. 64%, the community have said. So I'm glad you've all said that. Good. Well, I'm glad you've all said that.
False narratives.
So when he plays, good. So you've exposed yourselves for who you really are. When he plays, don't moan.
That's not everyone, is it? It's
64% of you. That's 64%. Yeah. I don't want to see moaning when he's playing week in, week out, or he's playing and he's still rubbish and he this, that, and the other. Don't moan.
You said to me a minute ago that everyone, the whole chat was saying that Rashford shouldn't play.
That's what they said the other day. What they said the other day. This is today's chat.
The other day they said your setting was great, whatever that was. Well, apparently it would.
This is what they do. And this is why you can't always trust them. This is why. This is what they do. That one day they say this, then they say that. Then they go, actually, to be fair, during this little heated exchange, let's just go with Owen. It's funnier to just go against Flex on this one.
Oh, sorry. So they're lying now, are they?
Well,
that's a fake. It's a fake poll.
You said
fake
that.
Poll. Wow. You're implying.
You said that. I'm just saying 66%. I don't want to see there be a majority of people moaning towards Rashford when he isn't that good.
Fans moan, piss and moan all the time. That's what when the team news comes out, even if it's a team that everyone likes, they will say, fuck this team. Because apparently that's the reaction. Every time the team news comes out, it's this team, I cannot believe it. And then the team plays and they go, it's okay. I always say it on the match views. There are 3 points of meltdown on a match day. When the team news comes out, halftime, full time. That's how it works every single time. And that's football fans. Football fans are fickle, honestly. Yeah. We go from minute to minute, going, this player's shit, and then they score and we go, I fucking love that player.
This is what I'm saying though, but the Casemiro thing, I know it was about Eric and the setup and stuff. So really, if we was, let's be honest, if we was to have a balanced view on Casemiro, just because that's just one where it's changed quite a bit, like I said, the journey of it is, oh my goodness, we got Casemiro for £70 million. It's a lot of money, but leader, we need that. We've got Varane as well, you know. We need, Ronaldo was here then as well, isn't it? When he actually came, Sancho was here. We were like, you know what? It's a lot of money. Yeah, it was mental, absolutely mental. But when he first come though, we went, bloody hell, it's a lot of money. That's probably way too much and a 5-year deal. But it's Casemiro. That's how we started off, Had a good first season, didn't he? We were all talking about, or the main conversations I remember in the first season was who's the best DM in the league, because Declan Rice was still at West Ham. It was Thomas Partey and it was him. Is that yes or no? Yeah.
I remember as well. He got suspended against Palace, didn't he? And we
Yeah.
were like, right, we've lost against Arsenal because of that.
There
And
you go.
you have to take your mind back to that. If we had have beaten Arsenal at the Emirates, we'd go, bloody, we might be in a bit of a title race.
Right. So that's where we was. I'm just taking you lot on the journey. Yeah.
It lasted a week, but we
There you
thought we were
go.
going to be in it.
Carabao Cup final, scores the header. Scored quite a few. Got scored against Chelsea. Scored quite a few goals in the first season. But we're like, tell you what, as well, he's handy scoring goals. He's got more than I thought. Yeah. So first season, good, lovely. Second season last year, obviously finished 8th. We started highlighting him as sort of, he's done, legs are gone, on too much money, still got 3 years left. What on earth have we done? Laughed at by all the other fans going, this is the guy they actually wanted to compare to Thomas Partey and Declan Rice and Rodri in these positions, etc., etc. Monday Night Football, absolutely rinsed. Jamie Carragher saying, listen, don't want to see you go out like this. Go to the MLS, go to Saudi, just all retire. And most of us are going, don't like the messenger, but mate, I'm real. It's got to be. Yeah. So we go into that summer going, but who's going to take him? We can't shift him. Then we can't shift him because of the money.
Yeah.
So the narrative of Casemiro going into this season is he just shouldn't be here. But don't worry, we've got Ugarte. We'll phase him out. Kobe Mainoo's going to play. He won't even play that much. He starts off playing. Obviously, the whole team's crap. I get that. But we get to Liverpool, third game of the season. Second, third. Yeah, because it's the first home game of the season.
Yeah.
Second home game of the season. Third game of the season.
Before the international break, first international break.
Before the international break. And he plays the worst we've ever seen in our life. We all saw it, okay? Mm-hmm. Then it was, I tell you what, he cannot play for us ever again. I was outside Old Trafford. Everyone was saying it. And I get there was a few...
when you said that, there were people in the chat going, I didn't say that.
Yeah. No, listen. Some people, not every. I'll tell you what. I'll take that back. Not everyone said that. Not everyone.
Be careful talking in absolutes.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I'll take that back. Not everyone said that, but the narrative was about how he can't play for us anymore. Cam. After the game was like, I've said it before. He's technically horrible. He can't pass 5 yards.
He doesn't like Casemiro.
He doesn't, and never has. And quite a few people were saying, yeah. Plus the money that this guy's on, the contract length. Then we start playing with a 4-4-2. And Casemiro don't look that bad anymore. He looks all right. Starts playing all right. Then the argument is, well, it's against Leicester, it's against Pauk. It's not. It's still the bar's still low. We can't invest into this guy. Then it's we've got the chance now. A new head coach is coming in. Mainoo's back fit. He should probably go next to Ugarte.
I don't think the narrative is to keep him. I think the narrative would be next summer. Let's see if we can move him on. Because what actually really hurt also Casemiro too is that stuff about Sir Jim when he was like looking at the books at Manchester United, basically being like, what the hell is this transfer? Casemiro, 5 years, over 70 million quid. What a terrible, use of money, which it still is. Like, again, the finances just don't add up for that transfer. And still now, the fact that he's our highest earner is a massive problem. So I don't, again, it's a bit like the Rashford thing, isn't it? I don't think it's a case of, if he has a good season, then suddenly it's going to be like, we have to keep Casemiro. I think the general sentiment is he's past 30. He's not what he was. He's on a contract that's way too big. Well, if we can move him on and get someone younger, cheaper, and we can build more around, then that's what we'll do. But whilst we've got him, he is this Champions League winner. He is a leader. He's playing better now. Of course, you're going to use him, aren't you? That's just the facts of it. Is it a surprise that certain players, particularly midfield players, look better outside of Erik ten Hag's system? No. And that's why it's exciting that you talk about like Kobe and all that. It's exciting because he was looking all right in Erik ten Hag's system. Imagine what he's looking like outside of it. That's really exciting. Ugarte, even he, we thought, we've got these big gaps in midfield. We've got this guy that just basically just tackles for fun. Put him in there, that'll fix it. And even he was like, I'm going to struggle a bit in that. So now we're hopefully going to see sort of the better version of him. So I don't think it really changes that much, the thoughts about Casemiro. I mean, to be fair, Flex, lots of people have said for a long time, you had the Cas agenda from the beginning. So maybe this is just rearing its head once again. Maybe that's what it is.
What was my cash agenda again? They said.
You just didn't think he was that good. Yeah, you didn't think he was that good from the beginning. There's an episode of UV Raw that's very telling. Very, very telling.
Then it got to a stage where
I tell you what it was.
Be here.
Sociedad. It was Sociedad at home in the Europa League. The one where Leacher, they give the penalty for the handball, and it was never like handball. It skips up off his thigh. And there's an episode of UV Raw, and Josh has got the camera at you, and you're quite scathing of Casemiro in that game.
Yeah, well, he was probably shit in that game. That's why. Probably shit. You know what I mean? Just say what you see.
I'm telling you guys, not it. I'm telling you, I'm onto him.
Yeah, and then he knew I was onto him, and then he's done a bit of this. So we'll wait to see where it is, isn't it? We still don't know, but right now he's doing well. And the reason why he's doing well, like you said, it's not rocket science. In all honesty, the system, innit? Like we all said it. Like it didn't matter which midfielder it was. Like we blame Casemiro in that one game against Liverpool, and I get it. But like you said, in the second half, Kobe literally did the same thing. Dwelled on the ball, massive gap, got robbed by Szoboszlai, they scored. It's the same goal. So it didn't matter who played, whether it's Eriksen, Mount, if he was ever fit, Amrabat, Casemiro, Bruno. It doesn't matter who was in our midfield. It used to get run through every single game. It's the setup. It's the setup. So that is true. Eminem says, boys, just go over his last 9 seasons. Understand context. There is more to Rashford's. Is inconsistent. The team has been inconsistent for 11 years.
Eminem's a big Rashford fan, by the way. Big Rashford fan. Big Rashford defender.
There you go, mate. There you go. Yeah. And Joe Fleming says, Flex, you literally said PSG wouldn't take him. LOL. Yeah, I did. I don't think they would.
They don't sign those kind of players.
No, I think I think a lot of that stuff has been led from made up a word. Lidden.
A lot of that.
I know. Lidden. Lidden.
Lidden.
Lidden. 2024. Bangor. I think a lot of that's been led by this side of the water. Yeah. I really don't think that PSG, and especially for like, when we're like, if the 70, 80 plus comes in for Rashford, would you take it? Who's going to pay? Who's going to do that? Who? Yeah. Nowhere near Real Madrid level. Barca, even if they wanted to, wouldn't do that. PSG ain't paying 80 million for Rashford. So who's going to do it? No one in the Prem would. So it's just not going to happen. Bayern might take Rashford for Musiala. No, they wouldn't. No chance. What? What? What?
But this, when it goes back to like the Rashford brand, that legitimately might put extra money on a transfer fee, wouldn't it? Because
I don't think them. But you know what? The clubs on the continent, they're not. A lot of them aren't stupid.
Well, maybe someone can't afford it.
They can't afford it. Bayern wouldn't break the wage structure. Guys on 350, 400 grand a week.
It was like when Sancho was being linked to Juventus over the summer, and they were like, we'd want him, but we can be giving you like nothing for him, basically, because we got no money. So it's like, okay,
exactly. There you go, guys. Anyway, brilliant show, fantastic show. I'm late actually. So fantastic show. Over 1,000 likes, over 2K watching live. Massive show this morning. And yes, we'll see you again tonight. Flexing KG show. Don't miss it. And anything else in between, if there's any breaking news, which I don't know what it could be, but you never know, we'll bring you that as well. So, yes, big show. Thanks for getting involved. We'll see you tomorrow in the morning view. We'll see you this evening. And then again, me and Owen will see you tomorrow morning on the morning view. We're out of here. Take care. Peace.